you for joining me here on Easter, for he has risen. And we're going to read about that, Matthew 26 on. I'm your brother in Christ Jesus, Chris Sanders. Thank you for joining me. And when it came to pass, Jesus had finished all these sayings. He said unto his disciples, Ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. But they said, Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now, when Jesus was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat, ate meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests, and he said unto them, What will ye give me if I deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying that unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The Master saith, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed. And they made ready the Passover. Now, when the evening had come, he sat down with the 12. As they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceedingly sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto the Lord, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth, as it is written of him, but woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said. As they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it, and broke it, and gave it to the disciples, and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup, and gave thanks, and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit until the vine, until that day which I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. And when they had sung a hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then Jesus said unto them, All ye should be offended because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee." Peter answered and said unto him, "Through all men shall be offended because of thee, yet I will never be offended." Jesus said unto him, "Verily I say unto you, that this night, before the cock crows, thou shalt deny me thrice." Peter said unto him, "Though I should die with thee, yet will not deny thee." Likewise also said the disciples. And cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, "Sit ye here, while I go and pray yonder." And he took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then said unto them, "My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me." And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, "O my Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt." And he came unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep. And he said unto Peter, "What? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." He went again away to the 2nd time and prayed, saying, "O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done." And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again and prayed the 3rd time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples and said unto them, "Sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me." And while he yet spoke, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude, with swords and staves, from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, "Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast." And forthwith he came unto Jesus, and he said, "Hail, Master," and kissed him. And Jesus said unto him, "Friend, wherefore art thou come?" And they came and laid hands on Jesus, and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand, drew his sword, and struck a servant on the high priest, and smote off his ear. Then Jesus said unto him, "Put up again thy sword into his place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot? And he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scripture be fulfilled, that thus it must be?" In that same hour Jesus said to the multitudes, "Are ye come out as a thief against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. But all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled." Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. And they that laid hold on Jesus led him away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in, sat with the servants, to see the end. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Jesus to put him to death. But found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses, and they said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days. And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witnesses against thee? But Jesus held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God that thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. Jesus said unto him, Thou hast said, Nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy. What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. Then they spit on his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palms of their hands, saying, Prophesy unto us, thou Christ. Where is he that smote thee? Now Peter sat within the palace, and the damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I don't know what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that there were, This fellow also was with Jesus of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him, and that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewrath thee. Then he began to curse, to swear, saying, I do not know the man. And immediately the cock crew. And Peter remembered the words of Jesus, which said unto him, Before the cock crows, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out, and he wept bitterly. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, who had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself, and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us? See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple, and departed, and went and hanged himself. And the chief priests took the pieces of silver, and said, It is not lawful for to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood. And they took counsel, and brought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, And they took the 30 pieces of silver, and the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord appointed me. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Art thou the King of the Jews? And Jesus said unto him, Thou sayest. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? And he answered him never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. Now, at that feast the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would. And they had a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas or Jesus, which is called the Christ. For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. When he sat down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with that just man? For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Jesus. The governor answered and said unto them, Whether of the twain will ye that I release unto you? And they said, Barabbas. Pilate said unto them, What shall I do then with Jesus, which is called Christ? And they said unto him, Let him be crucified. And the governor said, Why? What evil hath he done? But they cried out more, saying, Let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water, washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of blood of this just person. See ye to it. Then answered all the people and said, His blood be on us and our children. Then released Barabbas unto them. And when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governors took Jesus into the common hall, and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers, and they stripped him, and put him a scarlet robe. They had plaited a crown of thorns. They put it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand, and they bowed the knee before him, and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they spit on him, took the reed, and smote him on the head. And after that they had mocked him, they took the robe off from him, and put his own raiment on him, and laid him away to crucify him. As they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by the name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, the place of the skull, they gave him vinegar to drink mingled with gall, and when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. And they crucified him, and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head his accusation written, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Then there were two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand, the other on the left. And they that passed by revelled in him, wagging their heads and saying, Thou that destroyed the temple, and build it up in 3 days, save yourself. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross. Likewise also the chief priest mocked him, but the scribes and the elders said, He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if we will have for him, for he said, I am the Son of God. The thieves also, which were crucified with him, cast the same in his teeth. Now, from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land, unto the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani? That is to say, My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, This man called for Elias. And straightway one of them ran and took his sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink. The rest said, Let be, let us see whatever Elias will come to save him. Jesus, when he cried, again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent and trained from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks